Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. And I wanted to cover some news that just came out a couple of days ago about a bill that's going through the Senate thanks to Senator Jon Ossoff. Senator Jon Ossoff, if you guys haven't seen from the last hearing he did about the post office.
As I wrote you on March 14th, did you get my letter?
My office guy.
I didn't write your office, I wrote you. Did you receive my letter?
I have not read your letter.
You haven't read my letter.
I tried to speak to you Friday or yesterday.
You haven't read my letter.
I have.
The mail's not on time in Georgia. I'm a member of the committee of jurisdiction. You haven't read my letter. Well, that explains why I haven't received a response to my letter. Let me just give you just a friendly piece of advice. You should personally read letters from members of the U.S. Senate committee that funds and oversees your operations, particularly where you are failing abysmally to fulfill your core mission in my state.
He's kind of Dejoy's #1 fan right now, and he's writing a bill called Postmaster Reform Act. This is a bill he's introducing to hold Dejoy accountable or any other postmaster that comes in the future with term limits and a appointment by the Senate. This is to give back the power that has been taken away from the elected government and given to the Board of Governors.
This is a job that so impacts our day-to-day lives that the elected representatives of the people need the opportunity to ask tough questions about whether or not a candidate for this job is qualified.
If passed, that's exactly what the Postmaster General Reform Act will do. Introduced by Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff, an outspoken critic of the USPS, legislation would term limit the role of Postmaster General to 2 5-year terms and also force candidates to a Senate confirmation hearing ahead of their appointment.
What we have seen in the state of Georgia over the last year has been abysmal performance by U.S. Postal Service leadership. Their failure to execute a planned transition to the use of the new facility at Palmetto for mail processing and distribution, a wide range of managerial and operational failures. It is clear that the United States Senate needs to exercise its authority.
While this new legislation won't directly impact how fast or slow you may get mail, it will hold the Postmaster General accountable for their impact on it, or lack thereof.
Postal workers are out there every day working their hearts out to deliver the mail on time. But when they don't have the competent leadership and competent management at the top to get the job done, we see the kinds of performance failures we've seen in Georgia.
And you know, it's ironic because even those that used to be in the top of the leadership for the post office, like the vice chairman of the Postal Regulatory Commission, he could see this as a failure from like a mile away, basically calling Dejoy out.
When you make moves, and there's certainly a level of disruption when you open a new facility, but there's a very defined process of how that's done. You get data up front, you analyze up front, you plan, and then you implement. And in that process, there are checkpoints. What I'm seeing, I'm looking very specifically at Atlanta. The results there are just horrendous. I've never seen anything done like that. Again, I've been through this before. I have opened new facilities. You do it in a very set, gradual manner to make sure things are under control. To just flip the switch, turn it on, and it doesn't work. And then I think most shocking to me, not only didn't it work, but I'm watching the results in Atlanta that are going on now for 6 weeks. Why would you allow that to happen? Under the old facilities in Atlanta and North Atlanta, where it was being processed, it wasn't fantastic scores, but they were reliable. They were in the high 80s to 90% range for first-class mail. Why would you accept numbers that they dropped as low as 10% on time?
But because of the buddy-buddy relationship of the Board of Governors, he's been able to stay on a lot longer than anybody thought was going to happen. So hopefully, thanks to Senator Ossoff, we can finally get Dejoy out of here and tell him,
"You've done a hell of a lousy job, you're fired. Get out of here.